1. Kopassus, Indonesia. Kopassus Indonesian elite forces strongest and best in the world. The Special Forces Command, abbreviated to Kopassus, is part of the Main Combat Command, KOTAMA, held by the Indonesian Army. Kopassus has special abilities such as moving fast in every field, shooting precisely, reconnaissance, and anti-terror. The Indonesian military is actually capable of competing with American and Russian military forces, but our military strength is not supported by adequate combat equipment. If we open a little, our eyes will be seeing some advantages of our country rather than the two countries' superpower is. Two. SAS, English. What is this? The group is rated higher than the SEALs. Indeed. The Special Air Service of England was created in 1941 as a force that could operate behind German and Italian lines and supported the resistance movement against occupation forces. Understandably, the style consists of the most arriving British military personnel from the air forces. Physical requirements are harsh and require lots of marching with full packages. It culminates in a 40-mile parade with a complete package that must be completed in 20 hours. Candidates must also be able to swim 2 miles in an hour and a half and run 4 miles in 30 minutes. After this, you can fall in the forest to learn survival skills and navigation, after which you survive the practice of life. The final test is a 36-hour interrogation session intended to break the will of the candidate. The few who make it through this can be transferred to an operating power for further training. Not sure this is better than SEAL? It can help you to know that SAS is also trained by MI5 and MI6 security and intelligence to perform counter-espionage operations. It's like having a SEAL and a James Bond all rolled into one. Three. Navy SEAL, USA. You know, people will have to show up sometimes. The SEAL is a special armored American group created in 1962 that has reached a near mythic status. This is partly thanks to Operation Neptune Spear, a mission that SEAL flew to Abbottabad, Pakistan in May 2011 and killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda. The elite SEAL and the physical and mental strength required to make it in this style are ridiculously high. The training took more than a year and most applicants could not even pass a physical qualification test involving lots of swimming, push-ups, sit-ups and walks, all done within very strict time limits. Skip it and you enter the general training. Pass it and you move to SEAL qualifying training, which then opens the door for special training. Four. Shayatet 13, Israel. Special troops of another Israeli group, Shayatet 13, linked to the Israeli Navy. Created in 1948, this style has taken part in every major Israeli operation in the war, is doing everything from rescue hostages and counterterrorism to intelligence gathering and birding. The 20-month-long training and encourage candidates under the most stressful psychological and physical tests before special training even begins. You name the special kind of training and opportunities our members of Shayatet 13 have done, whether it's parachute training, destruction, underwater warfare or cold, dark training. Operationally, Shayatet 13 members were recently involved in a number of high-profile operations involving boarding vessels and seizing weapons to Gaza. Their most important operation after the 1972 Munich Olympics, when they were used to hunt down and eliminate those responsible for attacks on Israeli athletes. 5. Alpha Group, Russia. What about Spetsnaz? Well, to keep it simple, any list that gives Spetsnaz as a different power is just plain wrong, as a term that is a common name for all Soviet, Russian special forces. In Russia's special forces, Alpha Group is as bad as they come. This style began in the mid-1970s and came to fame during the Afghan invasion, during which Alpha members stormed the presidential palace in Kabul, killing everyone inside the building. In 1985, the group was sent to Beirut to try and rescue 4 Soviet diplomats. When the diplomat was killed, Alpha Group allegedly hunted the hostages' relatives and returned them to their families in smaller pieces to send a message of terrorism. This has apparently worked for over 20 years. In the country. Six. JTF-2, Canada. Created in 1993 and extended to several hundred members following the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks, the Canadian Joint Task Force 2 is a counterterrorism and elite special operations unit. Composed of military personnel from the Canadian Armed Forces, JTF-2 performs various operations. They have been known to escort VIPs and provide site security at events like the 2010 Winter Olympics. More veiled, they have been operating in many of the world's hotspots, whether it's saving hostages in Iraq or hunting down Serbian snipers in Bosnia. The time of power in Afghanistan is largely guarded, but it is known they were involved before most of the ground forces arrived and worked alongside other special forces, such as the U.S. Navy SEAL. Seven. Echo Cobra, Austria. As a result of attacks on Israeli athletes at the Munich Olympics in 1972, Austria created the Einsatzcobra for anti-terrorist operations. The troops consist of 450 men who have served in the Austrian Federal Police Force. Training, like any special force, involves several months of special courses focused on firing skills, language, hand-to-hand combat and tactical training and assault. Of course, only those who pass the psychological and physical tests are strictly qualified to full training. In order to be as diverse as possible, additional specialized training often follows this general training and focuses on things like explosives, diving and sniping. While Echo Cobra has not had any kind of operation like Saber Matko, they had ended the hostage taking.
To someone else's page because I keep subscribed to my